Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Caden. I'll be your host today. Alright y'all, so it is currently May 1st of 2025, which is actually insane because how have the past 3 months flown by? Like, January took forever. That shit felt like 3 years, and then now we're just getting through months. Like, it's crazy. Now, April was like a very stressful month for me because I was locked in on AP research and locked in on AP Lang, and I was just so stressed out and like, oh, but it was also like prom month, which was kind of really exciting. That was fun. Also, how do we feel about the makeup? How do we feel? Because low-key, I don't know. I'm trying to do it more. I'm trying to, like, get used to it on my face because I do want to wear more makeup. Okay, I think the lip with the, like, vibe of the eye is not going very well. I don't know. Anyway. Also, sorry for any background noise. It is currently, like, really rainy and windy and shitty outside. So, yeah. Back on topic, today we are going to be going over the 6 books that I read in the month of April. Like I said, it was a very rough month for me just in terms of like free time. So I really did not have a lot of like free time to sit down and like open a book and shit, you know? So how we do wrap ups on here is I go from least to best rated to really just get the bad shit out of the way and get to the good stuff. Now, the month of April was kind of mediocre for me. In fact, 5 of the books that I read this month did not break a 3.5 star, which while still a good rating for me, it just means that the book was good. Like, there was only one book that I really truly felt like I loved, which we will get to at the end. But yeah, so let's get into it. Let's start with the 1 3-star that I have. So let's start with our 1 3-star book, that being Dollface by Ryan J. Powell. This is an extreme horror novella. It was only like, I think 40 or 50 pages, but it's basically about this doll that lives in the house of a serial unaliver, and she like gains sentience and helps free his next victim and kind of turns the predator into the prey, and I love that. Yeah, I read this the night before a field trip because I just could not sleep. I didn't have melatonin. I picked it up. I've been looking at it for a while, and low-key was not my favorite. Here's the thing, is just like, I really didn't know how to feel about it. I was like really tired by the time I finished it. And while the book definitely achieved its job at being like, yeah, fuck this guy, he got what he deserved, it was just so, like, all the stuff that happens is just very icky, and it was just, like, nice to see who it was happening to, but, like, I don't know, I just, like, didn't enjoy it all that much, and low-key it's not gonna be all that memorable, so solid 3-star. Like, if you need to scratch that extreme horror itch, pick it up, but, like, other than that, girl, I wouldn't pick it up. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't reread it. Now we are on to our 3.5-star books. So the first 3.5-star book is Damned by Chuck Palahniuk. This is a horror book about this 13-year-old girl named Madison who ODs on the Mary Jane and then wakes up in hell, and it's kind of like a Breakfast Club situation. I don't know, low-key, I kind of fell in love with this book. I definitely think there was a lot of kind of edgelord humor that wasn't for me. However, I did buy like 2 or 3 more Chuck Palahniuk books because I was really invested in this one and I really liked it. So it could have been the month-long break that I took in the process of reading this, because I was predominantly listening to this while I worked out, and then I had to put it on hold. And while it was on hold, I still needed to listen to something to work out. So I was in the middle of reading something by the time I got the hold back on this, which definitely, the break from it took a sec to get back into it, which probably lowered the rating. But yeah, I definitely think the humor just definitely had a lot of the impact on my rating for this book, because as much as I really wanted to love it, just some of the stuff, it wasn't really for me. I definitely think someone else would love this a lot more. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to read more Chuck Palahniuk books in the future. Now, the next book is the book that I read in the middle of Damned, and it is Night Watching by Tracy Sierra. Now, this is a thriller book about a mom who notices that there is a man in her house, so she takes her two young children to hide. And while this man is invading their home, the woman begins to realize that she recognizes who this man is and she knows who the person breaking into her house is. So okay, here's the thing. I really did love this. I think it's a very strong thriller. And I definitely think there's a lot of commentary on just like what women have to go through in this book and how they're treated in regards to like, I don't know how to really articulate it, but there is a lot of commentary in here on women's issues that I found really interesting and found to be explored really well. However, I just like, it's definitely not something that's going to stick with me all the time. It's not something that I'm thinking about a lot. I don't know, it just had very little impact on me overall, but was still like a fun, interesting time. I definitely think listening to this while working out probably had an impact on my enjoyment. I've been on a cardio kick and your girl does not love working out, but like I've clearly lost some weight. I'm like trying to, get healthy, but I just still hate working out, so I don't know, but definitely would recommend this to somebody who I don't know, is looking for a fun, fast-paced thriller. The last 3.5-star book that I read in April was Pretty Boys Are Poisonous by Megan Fox. This is Megan Fox's poetry book, and I got it on Kindle Unlimited because I think it's off of Kindle Unlimited now, but I saw it and I immediately downloaded that bitch because your girl is not gonna pay like my own cash for a physical copy of this book. I'm sorry. I'm not. Like, it's a celebrity poetry book, and like, chances of me actually wanting to buy those, no matter how much I love the celebrity, is very slim. But anyway, I don't really know how to describe this, but this is a poetry book about kind of Megan Fox's, like, experiences going through an abusive relationship. Now, here's the thing, is I actually really, really loved some of these poems, and I think some of them were very strongly written. And if I were to like reread this or like buy a physical copy of this and reread it several times, some of them would definitely stay with me. Like poems just like have very little like capacity in my brain overall, but some of them would definitely like stay with me if I were to reread this book. However, a lot of them came off as like very notes app poetry, very much so Rupi Kaur, or what's the girl who wrote the I cried, he crowed, we crew, like that kind of energy, where it was like a corny ass title and then some like one or two liner of like, well, fuck yo, I'm a girl boss and pain, hashtag Sylvia Plath. Honestly, like, not that bad, but I don't know if I'd recommend it. I'd recommend it if you can find it at a library or like you don't want to spend your own money on it. I'd recommend picking it up, but like, don't spend money on this. I do not think it's worth like the $20 for a hardcover version of this. Now, the last book that I read for the month of April was a 4.5 star, and that is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Now, I'm gonna be so totally honest, I picked this up not really expecting to love it as much as I did. Like, I didn't really go into it with many expectations. I simply picked it up because the guy who voice acts this, I actually picked it up because one of the clips of him reading this went like kind of viral on Book Talk, and I'll put it in if I can.
Hey, I can't talk right now. I'm right in the middle of something, I said. What are you in the middle of? I'm taking a picture for Alexis. Silence. I'm coming over. What? No, don't come over. I heard his screen door slam. I'm serious, Doug. I don't need you. Let me guess. You're taking a top-down shot using the flash, standing in your shitty garage bathroom. You can see your feet in the picture and you're wearing socks. I looked down. Shit. I heard his engine turn over. That's what I thought. Don't do anything until I get there. Doug, don't do anything until I get there. He hung up on me. 15 minutes later, Doug walked in. He had a ring light. No. I shook my head. I'm not using that shit.
But I picked it up because of that, and also because this voice actor also reads the guy's Josh in Lights Out, and I eat that up. I still have yet to finish that book, but I still am eating that bitch up, and I love just the way that he voice acts and the way that he reads. So yeah, anyway, I picked this book up because of him. And it is your typical rom-com of like rich city girl kind of falls in love with like a small town man. This girl, she gets herself like drives off the road and gets herself stuck in a ditch, and this really fine ass man tows her truck, and then they kind of meet at the like local bar later and kind of introduce themselves, and they have a one night stand, and then she kind of freaks out because she's like fresh out of a divorce and like doesn't do the casual hookup thing, and then they slowly start to fall in love, and yeah. And gonna be so real, like, again, very corny ass setup for a rom-com. However, when I tell you I devoured this shit, and like, by the time that I was actually reading this book, I forgot that the reason I picked it up was because of the guy and because of the voice clip. Like, I was genuinely just enjoying it. Because it's a very like well-written romance book. It's kind of Emily Henry-esque in the sense that like these characters do have very like, maybe not very, but like have worlds and like kind of well-written worlds outside of the romance, and I loved that a lot. Also, our main character has to kind of relearn, or not relearn, but like learn some life skills just because of some like stuff like growing up rich, and like her husband's an asshole.
Editing me here, but I do want to add a trigger warning for abusive relationships because that is like a pretty big topic in this book. So just like a heads up for that.
Like, she has to learn some things, and the man, when finding out that she kind of doesn't have the same life skills as him, like, he kind of pokes a little bit of fun in like kind of a mock, like, wait, what, you don't know how to do that? But then he like doesn't bitch about it, and he just is like, oh yeah, I'll teach you, of course. And it's super sweet, and I really appreciate that, because low-key, if this were like some Haunting Adeline shit, he would have made fun of her and it would have pissed me off. A really, really sweet book, and I really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend it, especially for the audio experience. Like, oh. And it's also, it has my favorite kind of found family trope, where it isn't just like a group, like one small friend group or something. It's an entire town, and they all take care of each other, and they're all like family, and I love it so much. That is my all-time favorite found family trope, and oh, this book does it so well. I put the next book in the series on hold, but I also already bought Just for the Summer. I actually bought this first before realizing that it was part of a series, though usually romance series you don't have to read the other books to get context. Either way, I still wanted to read the first one, and also since the narrator was a guy I really liked listening to, I got the book. And I'm so excited for this, so I have this audiobook and yours truly on hold as well, and I'm so excited for those, and bitch, when I tell you I'm gonna devour. I also have her new book, like, on hold, though I think that one I'm also just gonna go into with the mind that I'm gonna hate read it. Just because even like book bitches who like love Abby Jimenez and like love romance books are not really standing by it. So I'm like low-key really interested in like, what's this gonna be like, you know? Really, really loved Part of Your World. And I think I'm gonna get myself a physical copy because like this is something that I definitely want to reread several times throughout my life. Like, it's fun, it's cute, and I really hope it gets turned into a movie because, oh my god, I would watch the fuck out of that movie. Trust. Ooh, cracked my knuckles. Anyways, that is all that I have read in the month of April. If you've read any of these, tell me your opinions down below. Tell me what you read in April. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. By the way, I will have a TBR video for this month coming out by Monday. I think I'm gonna post it on Monday. I don't know. We'll see. Either sometime this weekend or on Monday. Keep your eye out for that. Love you so much. Goodbye.